Welcome to the Level Up Festival. If you all are feeling excited for today's session, drop a heart emoji in the chat box. Hi everyone, my name is Jenille. I attend Bishop Ansley High School East and I'm 15 years old. I really enjoy doing YouTube videos, so I was very ecstatic when I saw that we would be having an open discussion with the amazing Stephanie Pemberton on how to land an opportunity, job, internships, scholarships, investment, and sponsorships. Stephanie is revolutionizing business and media as the CEO of Bad Granny Media Group, which has built 4 successful media brands aimed at inspiring and educating with a commitment to creating meaningful content for their clients as well as their own brands. In 2015, she launched Planting Seeds CariMAN Limited, a TV series, magazine, and digitization platform that enables entrepreneurs to their businesses to modify their businesses. Ms. Stephanie, the floor is yours. I'm very excited to hear about this topic.
Very nice. So of course, thank you for the introduction. And I have a media company, so we do a lot of fun videos, ads, marketing campaigns, get products out there. So we are constantly selling to people, selling products, presenting people to products, presenting products to people. And we also basically have a lot of entrepreneurs on our site that we also get business deals for in terms of investments and stuff like that. So I am definitely here today to have a really cool interactive session with you guys. I'm really excited about the next generation and what you guys are doing in terms of innovating and making such amazing things out of yourself. Definitely have a lot of opportunities with the digital world. So we're going to dissect a little bit about those opportunities and how you go about getting them and making sure that your stars all the way through. So the first thing I'm going to do is, well, Jenille and Josiah, are you also interactive with me here? I can ask you guys questions and you guys are going to respond as well, right? Okay, great. So the first thing we're going to start with is landing a business opportunity or maybe getting a job. So I'm going to start there before I go on into actual entrepreneurship. I'm not too sure if Josiah or Jenille, you guys have ever been to a job interview before. Have you ever?
I've been to one once. One job interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jenille, have you ever been to one?
No, I haven't.
Okay, great. All right, so here we go. We're going to play a little game. I'm going to give you 2 different businesses and 2 different jobs that you'll be applying for. We'll take 2 seconds and I will just ask you a few questions and then you give me some answers and then I'll tell you how you guys did after. Are you all up for this game?
Yeah, sounds like fun.
Okay, great. All right, so are there any specific industries that you guys each like or a type of job that you want to apply for so I'll know how to put this into context?
Definitely in the medical field.
Okay.
Energy for me, the energy industry for me.
Oh, wow. So 2 really, really intense industries. You're going into the energy sector and the medical sector. Very cool though, very excited. Okay, so I'll start with Josiah first, right? Josiah, let's say that you are applying to be, engineer at one of the top oil companies, right? And you're coming in there and you've gotten your degree, you've done your stuff. So I'm going to be that interviewee, right? Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more technical when you do go for those jobs and you have to have had your education and stuff. But a big part of it is your personality. And a lot of people judge you on the interviews based on your personality and who you are and why you really want to. So my first question to you is, why the energy sector? Why did you want to work in a sector that, is very cutthroat, can be at times, is very tough sometimes? Do you think you have the temperament for it? And tell me, what's your real passion behind wanting to be in this sector?
Wow. I would say that, energy makes up a major part of our economy. And while I do enjoy learning about, 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 Okay, this is hard. This is
It's okay. We've all been through it.
yeah.
You know, we weren't all perfect in our interviews or jobs for the very first time, and that's why we're doing these practicing. But continue. Like to see you finish.
I wouldn't say energy is my passion. I would say aviation is my passion, right?
Okay.
But I would use energy as a stepping stone
Great.
for my career. It's one of my interests, but I would use it as a stepping stone to where I want to be.
Exactly. Okay, good. So just some feedback on that. I'm really glad that you said the word stepping stone, because when you're going for job interviews, sometimes you do want to use it as a stepping stone, but sometimes you also don't want to tell the employer that you're using it as a stepping stone, because they're going to be like, okay, well, this guy is just going to come here and leave. I'm going to have to
You
train
don't
him.
really want to work here.
Exactly. But you do want to be honest and you do want to be authentic. So you can now trace that and say, listen, I really want to learn about the energy sector. I think I'm going to be an asset to this institution. I do want to explore aviation later on. It is one of my passions that I want to look into. And I think that this industry puts me in a really good position to understand more about, you know, how everything works, how the world works, how the economy works, and I want to add value. You know, so you're kind of telling them, hey, you give a little prelude as to what you do want for your future, so you're honest and genuine about that, but you're also showing them that you have a really big commitment to their immediate goals, and you're going to be committed to that and committed to them if you do work for them in a certain capacity, right? Okay, so Jenille, I'm going to take it over to you now, and I'm going to ask you the very same question. What made you want to get into the medical industry, and do you why would you like to be a nurse?
Well, I want to, first of all, I'd like to be a doctor and to revolutionize the healthcare system in Trinidad and Tobago, because I think there are definitely some changes that could be made to the healthcare system in terms of like how long people have to wait in the waiting room. I think it's ridiculous, and it could be changed.
Amazing. So that's another great way of selling your employer, to be able to show them how you can change change some processes that are not really correct in the industry that you're working in. So an employer might say, well, they might see 10 million people that come in that day. But if one person says, you know, I noticed when coming in here, the lines are really long, and I would like to ensure that those lines are no longer long, apart from what I love doing and apart from wanting to be in the medical practitioner and profession and do those things. So that's a great example of another way that you can really land somebody, by outlining a flaw that you think that you can actually help improve and work on. And that's a great way to do it. The next thing I'm going to go into is, while there is employment, I'm not too sure how much time I have left, but while there is employment and you going out to an employer to try to get an actual job, there's also a different side, and that is entrepreneurship. And some of you might want to start your own businesses, and you want to go out and pitch your business idea. You might want to get investments, you might want to get financing, even getting people to just simply pick up and buy your products, right? So that's another thing that is a different type of skill set, because as an entrepreneur, you basically are going out on your own, right? There's no company that you apply to. There's no research that you do on the company. Half of the customers you meet, you're not entitled to know everything about them. You may know some of them and would be able to do some research on some, but you're really going out there on your own and putting yourself out there. And entrepreneurs have to be able to build up that confidence in their product to be able to say, hey, I'm going to be able to confidently sell this, you know, and that confidence in your product actually comes from putting in the hard work. So if anybody asks me about, you know, cameras and going on set and doing videography, I would be able to basically show them and give them a lot of examples of how I've been able to do that. You know, we've built up the expertise. We've gone to LA. We've gotten a lot of education for our production team. We've managed a huge production set, and, you know, with 30, 40 people, with loads of people coming in to be interviewed, and we've been able to do that. So when I'm able to now sell my production services to a client, they now feel like they have a little bit more confidence in Stephanie. So wait a minute, she's done this before, she's understood the education side, her staff is really well trained, and she has experience. So this person is going to be able to probably be able to maneuver me through tricky situations if I was in them, and would be able to help me as well if I need to excel to another level of what I'm hiring her to do, right? So that's basically how I think you can level up in your interviews, and that's how I think that you can level up as an entrepreneur. Have that confidence, build up your reputation, get a lot of experience, even if it means, you know, scrubbing the floors. Just get experience in everything. You know, when I first started my business, I cleaned my own office, I got everything done. I was very humble about it. Now that I am able to have other people work for me, I actually know what it feels like to do those jobs, so it makes me a better leader. So be very happy when you get those humbling ground up jobs to do in starting up a business or anything that you want to do. And, you know, even if it means doing a chore for your mom at home or doing something nice, you guys don't see it now, but that builds up a lot of personality and moral fiber and etiquette. It shows that you are willing to be part of a team player, that you're not just expecting mom or dad to do everything, or you know, you're actually contributing to the household, and they'll probably value you a bit more and be like, whoa, I can always depend on Stephanie to wash the dishes, you know, even though that's not really the case all the time. But I'm really, really good at washing clothes and folding. So that's my thing. I don't like to wash the dishes, but I will wash all of the clothes, I will fold them and put them away. So try in your everyday life to be that type of person that people want to work with, that people want to be around. The person that builds up some expertise in something, is always ready to give a hand, is always excited to do something, puts their 100% effort into it. And when you become in that position where you are now selling yourself to somebody else, you would have practiced it so much time in your life, it'll come second nature to you, right? So that would be some of my advice. I'm going to open up the floor to you guys if you want to ask me any questions, if there's anything that I may have missed that you think people might benefit from learning.
Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Wow. Now is our chance to ask Stephanie any questions we have. So I will start first. I will go first. As a young person wanting internships and job opportunities, what would you say is the best approach in terms of reaching out?
Okay, so I think first of all, have a really nicely done resume. And nowadays you can go online and get that you can get that done easily. Put in your activities, your interests. At this point in your life, you may not have had all of, you know, more things to add, like work experience, level of education. You get things as you get older to add to your resume. So what you can possibly do is write a really nice, neat, compelling piece about yourself. You know, if I was looking at interns' resumes, which I have done before, they all basically look the same, right? So everybody's at the same level of education, you know, the same place. But if I have someone that says that actually did a little bit of research on my company and put a little cover letter on the front as to why they wanted to work for me and said, hey, you know, I did research on this business and I know that you did X, Y, Z, and I was really motivated and inspired by this, you know, butter them up, make them feel as though you did all of the research and you absolutely love them, and you're definitely going to be able to strike their attention and they're going to remember you, like, oh yeah, that kid that did the cover letter, did you remember that? That was so cool. And they will want to get you in. In terms of actually being able to get your resume into the door, I would say go bold and be brave. Go on the internet and find the companies that you want to work for. Pick up the phone, tell them exactly who you are. Listen, I'm 16 years old, I'm just out of school, I'm looking for some internship opportunities. Really, can you put me on to the HR person? Don't be afraid of rejection. They might take you through a loop, and then you might get onto an HR person, and then you say, hey, please, can I send this email? Can I send my resume? When you send it, do a follow-up, because remember, these people probably are not, their focus is not going to be on hiring an intern at the moment, even though they may want to, but they'll be doing other work. But when you kind of message them and email them and say, hey, don't forget me, they would remember that. And you have to end up doing that in life as well. I have had to follow up with clients and say, hi, I remember this, hi, I remember that. And you have to kind of find a nice balance between nagging and following up, because you can easily fall in between the two slopes. So I would say after you send your resume, make sure you have a nice professional email. Hello, please see attached for your perusal. And in about a week's time, follow up, send an email. Hi, just checking in to see if there's any follow up on my resume application. And then if they don't answer via email, I would say wait 2 more days and then pick up the phone and call. Right? So I definitely think there's also, leveraging your family and leveraging connections and networks. But as somebody who's also, really self-built, I've picked up the phone, and most of the people say, how do you have so many networks? How do you know so many people? I'm like, I just call them. Like, I just found their company name and picked up the phone and called them. And they're like, that's how you got through. And I'm like, yeah, that's their role and job. You might know someone that knows somebody. Okay, great. But if you can call somebody, win them over, you have them for life. You did that on your own. You made that connection on your own with them. And I think that's really, really important. I see a question. Lauren says, how do I know which opportunities are right for me to pursue? That's a very difficult question, Lawrence. As someone who is now 33 years old, I'm still trying to figure that out. The road to figuring out what you're great at or what you're doing, it never ends. You might feel like lost and confused now. I'm telling you, you're going to be lost and confused at 30 as well, throughout your 20s. But the point is that when you find something you're truly passionate about that you would do regardless of whether or not you got paid, that's when you know you're on the right path and you're doing something. I've kind of found that over time, and I've had to go through many different opportunities in order to get where I was. So I would say try as many things as possible. Put yourself in different industries if you need to, in order to be able to get that knowledge and expertise in different areas. Don't confine yourself to one box. So maybe Jenille, you might want to go to volunteer at a hospital one summer. And then maybe next year you might say, okay, well, let me go and volunteer at a farm or a marketing company or something totally different. Josiah might say, okay, I'm really interested in the energy sector. Maybe he might go and do some stuff in energy and sustainable energy, but then, the next year, maybe try out some stuff in construction and see how the construction industry works. And that way you'll know for sure that you're making the right decisions when you go along. At one point in time, I wanted to be a lawyer. And when I came back from university and did an internship at a law firm, I was like, I don't want to be a lawyer. So I think you should definitely try as many different opportunities as possible, especially when you're young, because that's when you don't really have to commit to anything as yet.
Thank you, Ms. Stephanie, for these crucial tips. I definitely think we could benefit from it. My question to you is, what challenges you face in landing an opportunity and how you were able to overcome them?
Okay, so there were many different challenges that I would have faced over time, still facing today. And I think a lot of them, they've ranged in different ways, right? So there would be challenges where you may not be able to reach on to the people that you want to reach on to, and you just can't get there. You've gone to all of your portals, you've made all of your calls, you've sent all of your emails, you've tried your very best, and you're just not reaching it. I would say in those situations where you feel like you've kind of hit a wall, do something else and kind of distract your mind for it. Don't let it motivate you. So if it is, okay, I couldn't run a mile today, maybe I'll try reading a book. And then you kind of find that the problem eventually goes away. And then one day you're like, oh my gosh, now I know how to run a mile. Now I know how to get to that person. So I think that when you have problems and challenges, try not to let them get you anxious and try not to let them make you worry, because being anxious and worrying actually takes you further away from finding a solution. Focus your mind on something else that is reachable at that point in time for you, so you could remove your mind, have another win somewhere else. During the day as an entrepreneur, I have so many things that go wrong and then so many things that go right. And sometimes, you know, when things are going wrong, I just go downstairs and I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on dispatch because I know dispatch. And no matter what happens, dispatch is not going to fail me. It's going to make me feel better. And I'm going to put everything aside, you know, or I'm going to write a script, or I'm going to do something that comes a little bit more second nature to keep my confidence level up. And I think that's a really good way to get over a lot of the challenges that you do face. Another thing that you would have in terms of challenges is, as a young person, convincing older people that you can do something and that you're capable. Over time, a lot of grown-ups kind of look at kids like, oh, they're just a kid, they won't understand, they won't know. And even in my career and my life, there are older people who sometimes are like, who's that little girl telling us about entrepreneurship? You know? So I will say in that case, always be respectful to everybody, respectful to those people, but work extra hard, because once you've achieved and once you have that proof that you've done it, they would have no chance but to stop and watch and say, okay, well, she's earned it. She did that. She did finish this, and it was to completion. But if it is that halfway through they tell you, oh, you can't do that, you're too young or whatever, and then you give up, you'll be playing into the same hands. So you want to always make sure that you know, any challenges that anybody, if they treat you different because you're young or you're a girl or you're a different race or you're not with the same class or whatever it is, people prejudice all the time in life, right? Whatever it is, those challenges come to you in that way. You just have to make sure that your work speaks for itself. You know, I'm an artist. I've been painting all of these paintings. I've done all of this. There's nothing that you can't take that away from me. You know, that's what I've done. And people will have to stop and recognize that eventually. So it looks like we got 8 more minutes to go. Any more questions you guys have for me?
Okay, last question. There are a lot of opportunities out there online. What are some warning signs that young persons should look out for that can aid in helping us decipher genuine opportunities from scams or scams?
Yeah, I would say it's very difficult. It is also difficult for adults to be scammed as well. It happens all of the time. So don't feel as though you are going to be the victim only. People, they're just bad people in the world, and they're good people, and they're people that are scamming or not. But what I think really works for me is passing it through somebody else that may have been a little bit older, a little bit more mature, have been around the block before. If anytime I get a business opportunity that may be in a specific field, I will then go to somebody who I know is good in that field, and I'll say, hey, look at this. How does this look to you? You know, do you know these people? Is that good? Before you make a decision, always make sure that you pass it by somebody that you know has the ability to comment on that specific topic, right? So I know that you guys have a lot of mentorship from the Heroes Foundation, and they are very well connected in the business community. So I'm sure that you have a lot of options there. If you ever needed any help with anything in entrepreneurship, I can definitely give Lawrence my email, and you all can email me. I'm very committed to helping answer any questions as it relates to entrepreneurship and how you can help start your business. But definitely, in order to look out for the scam artists and the fraudulent people, pass it by somebody else. Let somebody know. Don't make that decision on your own. The best and top business people in the world all have consultants. They all have a round table. You know, kings and queens back in the day, they always had their person that would go and advise them, you know. So it's something that is there and real, and you should definitely have someone in your life. If it's not your family or parents, it can be someone that you meet through these different types of portals, like Heroes Foundation, a very accredited company that's been working for a certain amount of years. If you see somebody who's kind of just started up and they don't really have many people or employees, they have nothing on social media, there's No one's ever heard of them. I would say red flag, you know. But when you Google heroes, you see a lot of media, you see a lot of information. So that would be a good, the internet is a great resource. Using a family friend or a mentor is also a great resource. You know, I think those two should basically have you on a good track to not being stabbed.
Okay, and my final question is, what does a typical day or week look like for you?
Whoa, that's difficult. I feel like, I guess on a typical day, sometimes I wake up very early. Sometimes I wake up very late because I'm working late. So what I try to do is I try to manage my time. I've not been that type of person to optimize my work between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Like I've just never been able to feel like I think within that 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. box, which is why I did an entrepreneurship. Some people do and are able to say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to do this and only that, leave me alone. You know, I'm a little bit more like from 8 to 10, I feel for this, and to 10 to 11, it's this, and 6 o'clock, I get an idea and I want to finish that off, you know. So what really keeps me in check during the week is I start off my week. I don't know if I have my book here. I bought this really cool book from one of my entrepreneurs. I like to make things fun, like my to-do list. And I would write down all of the things that I would like to achieve that week. So I do have a list of it right here. And during the week, to keep it on track, I scratch off my list, you know? So even if I don't get anything, all of the items done that day, I'm not really like feeling bad about it. But every day I'm achieving something, because every moment that you have on this earth, every moment that you have with a business or a job is an opportunity. And every single second that's wasted is gone, you know? So if you're not sitting down and tracking your time, spending your time with the people who matter, not the people who don't, you know, as a young person, you're going to meet a lot of people in your life now that might be your friends today, gone tomorrow, that kind of thing. But these things that you guys are doing, like sitting down on this Zoom session and listening to people that know, you know, have different levels of advice to give you, you're actually improving yourself every second. And that could be something that you put on your list and you take it off, you know? So every week for me is different. I think every week for everybody could be different because we're all individual, different people. But you find out what works for you. A list works for me. And Monday to Friday, by Friday evening, I can sit back and relax because I know no matter how up and down I went or what I did today or what I didn't do today, I finished it by the end of the week. Some people are different, as I said, and would prefer to wake up at 8 and finish everything you have to do at 4, and at 4, they rock back and they're watching TV, they're not working again for the rest of the day. And that's fine as well. But, you know, the age that we live in where there's a lot of work from home, a lot of different ways of doing work, don't limit yourself to become an 8 to 4 p.m. person because the world is different now. You can be working at any point in time. You can negotiate your job hours. You can do multiple things, own multiple different types of businesses. So don't limit yourself, what I would say. So we got 2 more minutes to go. If you guys want to see more about planting seeds, you can follow it at Planting Seeds Caribbean. If you want to see more about media, and I know that y'all would be interested in all of the productions and models and these people, you can go on Bad Granny Media, and it's at Bad Granny Media. And if you want to see more about the automotive TV show with big trucks and cars that we do, you can go at Bad Granny Ltd.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for taking time out of your day to speak with us. I hope everyone enjoyed this session. I want to thank my co-host, Jenille, and you, the audience, for tuning in with us. You can also visit levelup.com, LevelUpYuhself.com for more excited presentations. Level Up is being delivered by the Heroes Foundation, Create Future Good, the We Say Yes organization, CariMAN, and the Zinc Network with the support from the United States Embassy in Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, everyone, and please visit levelupyourself.com for more information.